Okay, Jake CPU Nut suggested I'm always posting up pictures of our dinner on Facebook, and I know a lot of you guys aren't on Facebook or aren't on my Facebook friends or whatever. But so today I'm fixing a chuck roast, and this is one of me and Amy's favorites, and it's very simple to fix. You can fix it from frozen straight out of the freezer, or if you just pick it up at the grocery store that night. This is pretty much how we do it, and so I'm going to show you how we fix our chuck roast. Hope you like it. Here's the roast. What I did was I hit it hard with garlic because I like it. We both do. And I used this, you can either use fresh pressed garlic or you can use out of the jar. This is what we happen to have on hand here. It's the just minced garlic. I take a teaspoon of that and put it on top of the roast and then just spread it around. Also, I put about 3/8 half inch, fill the bottom of the pan up full of water because this thing's going to cook all day. And then a couple hours into it, I pull it out and check it, make sure it don't need some more. But I put a teaspoon of garlic in that, and then just mix it around, so that will flavor basically the bottom, and that'll help steam the roast with it. Kind of marinate while it cooks. Then I put another teaspoon on the top, and then I hit it with. You can either use table salt. We were at Big Lots the other day and found some of this. Let me get the regular container. It's got a better label on it. It's gray sea salt, Italian. It's Bretagna gray salt. It's basically manually harvested from the Bretagna Sea, and it comes in these great big chunks, so you can't really use it like that. You need to crush it up. So what we did was we had an extra pepper grinder that you get with peppercorns in them that was empty, and then we just put it in that. And so I use fresh cracked sea salt, and then I always use fresh cracked whole black peppercorns. You can get them in the grinder here like this, and we also use it's the Big Mac Daddy grinder we found at Big Lots too a while back with the colored peppercorns in it. And this great big damn thing was only like $3 or $4, which is about what one of the small ones cost. And you can see how much of what we've already used. These are refillable. A lot of them you buy are not refillable. We try to find the ones that are refillable and then just keep them and keep reusing them. But I used minced garlic, a teaspoon in the water, teaspoon on the roast. I just covered up the roast with fresh cracked sea salt, and then the water too, and then did the same thing with pepper. I don't measure shit as far as this goes. I just cover it up because it's going to cook and steam and dissolve, and it's almost a 2-pound roast. Then I just basically cover this up with foil, and then once the oven cuts off, it's sitting on 450. I'll stick it in there and then turn it down to 350 and leave it for about 2 or 3 hours, and then pull it out and check it to make sure it doesn't need water. And if it does, I'll add some water to it and put it back in there. And then about an hour before it's done, we'll put our vegetables in there, and we put onions, celery, potatoes, and carrots. And yeah, if we're out of one of them, we obviously don't put that in there, but that's pretty much our standard pot roast. And I'll come back and shoot it when I put the veggies in there. And there's one more thing I was wanting to show you. It's on the right above the middle. It's not on the top rack, it's on like the next one down. That's where we usually cook our stuff at. And that does make a difference. Obviously, the lower you get it sitting to the heating element, the faster it's going to cook. So that's where I leave it at. It's right up there. It's not at the very top one, but the one underneath it. Alright, here we are at 3.5 hours. Well, 3 hours and 40 minutes. It's 3:40. You can see the roast is getting nice and dark and brown. You can probably fall apart right now with some forks. See how rich the broth is too. That's where your yumminess is at right there. It's reduced back down from what I had put in there, so I'm going to have to add some more to it when I add the veggies in. And over here we've got carrots, potatoes, celery, and about 1/4 of an onion that I've cut up. So we'll go ahead and add these in, and just be careful when you add them in, because this very hot liquid will splash you and burn like hell. And there's a couple different kinds of potatoes in here, because that's what we had. It's just some white ones. It's like some Irish potatoes and some red ones. There's some smoky, some juice in the floor. You'll like that. And if you load it up like this, it does take longer for them to get done, so you need to allow more time. But we always load up, and we eat off this thing for like 3 days. We'll eat it as beef roast originally tonight, and then we'll eat it as sometimes we'll barbecue it the next day. Sometimes we'll just make beef quesadillas out of it, because you can just add some Mexican seasoning to it. It's already cooked. Your beef's already cooked when you do that anyway. So, and just lay the celery on top here. Kind of want it to stay a little crispier anyway, so if it's not down in the juice, it's not a big deal. There. Sure. And now the onion. Now I always put a little bit on top of the roast. That's good. And just put the rest of it. These will cook down to basically nothing. And it adds a lot of flavor. And if you want more onion flavor, you can put more onion in it. This is plenty for me. We want to know what's in there, but we don't want it to overwhelm it. And this is like I think it's a yellow sweet onion. You need to be careful what kind of onion you use, because if you use those real strong white ones, you don't have to use very much, and it will just totally, you put too much of that in there, it'll fuck your roast up. Alright, and I'm going to hit the vegetables with some salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder. And then add a little more water to it to get them not completely submerged, but about halfway up on the veggies. And then throw it back in and cook it for about another hour and 20 minutes until the vegetables are done. And then I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. Alright, and here we are done, ready to eat. Veggies has been cooking a little over an hour. It is 5:15. Been cooking for about around an hour and 20 minutes or so. And this is yummy goodness from Brad and Amy's Kitchen. Hope you enjoy it, because I know we're going to.